Aquatics and summer go hand in hand. This is that perfect time to break out those watery, oceanic, marine-like fragrances. They just thrive under the heat. They smell like summertime. So idiomatically, they work perfectly. And the way that they're composed, the scents just need warmth, and they do so well when it's hot. So this is the perfect time. I have 10 long-lasting aquatic fragrances. That's not something you find all the time, especially in the designer market for men's fragrances, where you see a ton of aquatics. Today, we're not talking about a ton of designers. In the niche world, in the indie world, we see more high quality aquatic fragrances and ones that do actually perform very well. And these fragrances fall into that category. Most of them are going to be long lasting. They don't all have beastly presence, but honestly, I don't really care about that. And if you watch my channel, you might already know that I don't base my final assessment of a fragrance on its performance. If I love the way it smells, then it's worth having and worth wearing for me, because I'll find a function for it. So don't base your purchases of any of these fragrances on the fact that they're strong. If you're interested in the way it smells, go for that, and just know that performance will probably just be a bonus. I have these 10 fragrances ranked in terms of presence on my skin, how I perceive them when I wear them. We have the lightest to the heaviest, so to speak, but all of them will stay on the skin a good little while. But just know that mileage may vary. I don't talk about performance a lot for that reason, because I can't make any promises. But again, follow your nose, go with the scent. If it lasts a long time, that's great. If it doesn't last a long time, at least you just got a sample and didn't blind buy it, so you're not out too much money. Anyway, let's dive right into this video. Here at number 10, again, this has the least presence of all of these, but still will stick around on the skin, still has beautiful quality, and still has a relatively unique scent profile. This is coming from Mikalev. This is called Osaito. This is a very minerally cooling aquatic. If anything, it's in the realm of something like Silver Mountain Water from Creed. It's almost that kind of metallic, minerally inky feel in here, but it's a little bit sweeter. It's not quite as inky. It doesn't have this overtly juicy, fruity quality like the black currant in Silver Mountain Water. There's something quite green about it. I think that's coming from myrtle, which is a floral note in the heart, kind of herbaceous. Green, fresh, minerally aquatic, almost like water over rocks or stones. A little bit of a subtle sweetness maybe from marigold, which I think could be sweet sometimes. Like many of the fragrances on this list, it's going to be quite versatile. You could wear this anytime, anywhere if you love it. Again, not the biggest presence, not a ton of oomph, but is going to be on the skin a while, and it's going to be really pleasant to those who get close to you. That is Osaito from Mikalev.
Why did it get dark all of a sudden?
Osaito. Coming from an Italian brand, here at number 9, the brand is called Acqua dell'Elba. I think I said that right. And this is their Classica For Men. Beautiful blue bottle, nothing super special in terms of the presentation. The scent as well, nothing super special in terms of what it smells like. If anything, it reminds me a little bit of Aqua di Gio, the original eau de toilette, but higher quality and longer lasting. It is minerally, it is salty, it is citrusy. It has a little bit of this clean ozonic feel to it. Something that smells like you're clean, fresh out the shower, but will stick around on the skin in the heat. This is a very refreshing fragrance. Again, simple, versatile, can function as a signature if you're looking for that. I got this one from my good friends at Mozzafiato. They have a beautiful selection of some of the finest Italian grooming and fragrance products, period. Not just fragrance, but other things too. I'm gonna link them down below. Make sure you check them out. We might have a little discount, I'm not sure. But anyway, Classica For Men. Let me know if you've tried this one. You don't see talk about this very much. From Tom Ford. This is an aquatic that is not for everyone. This is what I would call a dark aquatic. There's something mysterious about it, sexy. I would mostly wear this in the evening when it's warm and when I'm wearing dark colors, maybe similarly to how this bottle looks. Oud Minérale, I've talked about this one quite a bit. I recommend getting a sample of this. Do not blind buy this. Again, this is not for everyone. This is very, very aquatic. This smells like the Pacific Ocean during a storm. It's kind of dark and gloomy smelling. There's driftwood, it's smoky. There's oud, of course. There is seaweed. That's mostly what you get. It's both dry and wet at the same time because it is aquatic and oceanic and fresh, but there's a dry, smoky woodiness in there. a little bit salty smelling, and a touch of a fishiness, but very, very slight. Very authentic smelling in terms of a woody aquatic, but that's very dark, very enigmatic. Check out Oud Minérale. If this kind of profile sounds interesting to you, it's kind of a statement maker. Again, I would dress it up if you want to stand out. This is one to check out. One thing I forgot to mention is that not all of these fragrances will literally smell aquatic, like the ocean, like marine water or anything like that, but all of them evoke that feeling. They evoke that energy of water, of being near water. Most of them are going to use some of the idiomatic ingredients that you find in aquatics, like marine notes, like sea salt, like seaweed, like ambergris, like driftwood, things like that. To some degree, maybe in combination, but at the very least, if they don't smell overtly like ocean water, then they at least again are gonna paint that picture. This is one of them. This is called Roger Parfums Oceania. So by the name, you would think, yeah, this has got to be an aquatic. Not exactly, not technically, in terms of the notes. This is mostly a musky, citrusy, aromatic scent that's a little bit fruity and sweet, but mostly mouth-wateringly citrusy and tart and bright and very fresh. There's this muskiness throughout, as I mentioned, that's kind of like cool ocean air in a way, but not in a salty or marine-like way. I imagine myself out on a yacht, maybe on the Caribbean or something like that, under the sun. Crystal blue. The citruses are, again, so bright and beautiful and opulent. This is an uplifting scent, but it's also something that I find elegant, and I would love to dress it up, but you can also dress it down. It's very casual too. Not cheap. Get you a sample if you can. Love this stuff for the summertime. That is Roger Parfums Oceania. Love that bottle too. How about that cap? Good Lord. Here's another one of those fragrances at number 6 that doesn't smell overtly oceanic, but it does evoke the feelings of being near the water, even down to the name, but the scent itself as well. Just not quite like the others. This is called Greek Keys from Sarah Baker. Absolutely love this fragrance. One of the more transportive fragrances in my collection. When I smell this, I imagine myself walking along the coast of the Mediterranean in Greece somewhere. Bright blue water. I'm smelling the sea foam. There's this kind of creamy freshness that's almost like the foam of the water kind of bubbling up at the shoreline. It's very fresh, very ozonic. A little bit again of this creamy sweetness, almost like a vanilla, but it's so tastefully done to not evoke something that smells edible, but more so evoke something that smells like you're looking at sea foam. Anyone can wear this, perfectly unisex. Do check out Greek Keys. Get samples of this house. This house is stunning. They don't get enough talk. Really, really good stuff and very wearable, even for being so transportive and quite niche. That is Greek Keys from Sarah Baker. As I mentioned, these fragrances are in order in terms of presence on the skin, in the air, in terms of how much space they take up, not necessarily in terms of scent. Even though I said that is my number one prerogative, I know a lot of you guys want to know what's going to be strong. You want to be able to assess based on that. So that's why it is ordered in this way. I've done it for you, not necessarily for me. So this next one up, again, not my favorite scent here. Definitely good for the price. Definitely also smells the way that it costs, honestly. This is coming from Tommy Bahama. It's called Set Sail St. Barts. If you're on a budget, if you don't want to spend more than 20 bucks or so, this is one to check out. This is tequila with marine notes. Very aquatic and salty, slightly sweet, boozy scent, but it's very, very fresh. Again, not very natural, smells a little bit scratchy and smells a little cheap to me, honestly, but on the skin, under the sun, in the right situation, when it's super casual, this is gonna be something that a lot of people are just gonna like. It smells like vacation. Check it out down below if you haven't already. I would say get a sample, but it's so freaking cheap, you might even not be able to find samples of this. But if you can, do get it, because you don't want a full bottle of something that doesn't smell amazing to you. But again, there's an audience for this for sure. Great for the summertime. That is Set Sail St. Barts. And number 4, this is pretty new to my collection. I've been getting to know this house over the past year or so. And what I have to say about them is that their fragrances do not come across as the highest quality, even though you can pay quite a pretty penny for them. However, whatever they're putting in these things in terms of maybe the synthetic ingredients or these aroma chemicals, they make them stick around. They do stay on the skin a long time, and they do smell very pleasant. They just don't smell all that natural. And sometimes They are a little bit more mainstream smelling than you would think you're paying for, but nonetheless, wonderful fragrances if you're looking for something easy to wear that will last a long time. And this is a great aquatic in that regard. This is called Number 3 from House of Sillage. And cool little mechanism here. Reveals the atomizer. Maybe a gimmick, but actually great quality. It's like metal and feels very robust. A very simple fragrance. Marine notes, woods, a little bit of sage, and probably a hefty dose of ambroxan. Yeah, again, not the most natural scent, but smells great, especially in the air, has a nice presence to it. It does have a bit of a sexy quality for being so fresh and so marine-like and ozonic. I can easily recommend getting samples of these first. Again, they are expensive. Do not blind buy full bottles of this. Get a sample if it sounds interesting to you. Again, a simple scent doesn't really change very much on the skin, but also doesn't remind me exactly of anything else. They do have a bit of a DNA to them. It's kind of hard to describe. You know it when you smell it. It is more of a synthetic core to the scent that makes the DNA, in my opinion, but it smells really nice. I can't deny it. I will be getting more out of this, especially on a day when I need a fresh fragrance to last a good little while and have some presence. This is one to check out. Number 3 from House of Sillage. We're getting into the strong ones here. This stuff is no slouch. None of the ones from here on out will be slouches. This is coming from an indie brand known as Gallagher Fragrances. It does use driftwood as a primary aquatic component, but mixed with other things like fruits, like pear and melon, mixed with a lot of champaca, which is this almost tropical, heady floral quality that's very thick and almost humid smelling. And there is a freshness to it, reminiscent of the ocean with that driftwood, but something else in there. Pearfecto. What a special fragrance. Nothing smells quite like this that I've smelled. It is a very sharp kind of fruitiness. I think there's grapefruit in here as well that kind of balances out the sweet fruitiness of the other fruits. The champaca is such an unusual style of floral to use here. Again, it's heady, it's almost white floral in a way, but not powdery. It just has a thick richness to it, almost like a banana-like feel. Really interesting, very robust, has a lot of legs with that aquatic driftwood backbone. Sweet fruity, interestingly thick and floral, and with a dark kind of dry woodiness, reminiscent of being on the beach. And it's beautiful, but there's a storm rolling in. It's not necessarily super sunny day. I really enjoy this stuff. It's perfectly unisex. My wife wears it. It smells great on her and it lasts all freaking day. That is Pearfecto from Gallagher. Here at number 2, we have an aquatic chypre. And this is coming from Francesca Bianchi. Wow, a lot of her fragrances fall in this genre. This happens to be perhaps the freshest fragrance that she makes, using overtly fresh notes, definitely reminiscent of the ocean, reminiscent of maybe the Mediterranean as well. Called Etruscan water. Robustly mossy, very rich, woody, mossy. A little bit of a sweet, juicy, citrusy quality to it. Not overtly sweet, but just enough to make it from being too bitter with that mossy, woody base. The chypre is known to be dry, very dry and mossy smelling. You have to like that feel. It does smell a little bit old school in that regard, but still very wearable. Definitely something that's a little bit more upscale, a little bit more elegant. Again, maybe more mature smelling. I would dress this up. Etruscan water. Get samples of these fragrances. Again, they're not super easy for everyone to understand and enjoy, but if you are looking for something different, I'll wait for it to refocus on my face. We're good. Check this out. It's only doing that because I decided to film in front of the window. I wanted you guys to see this beautiful view. It's a gorgeous day out, but I gotta pay the price with this lighting being brighter than this lighting. Anyway, up next at number 1, definitely one of the strongest fragrances in my collection, period. And it happens to be an aquatic. How they got this thing to be so strong, I don't know. This is a fragrance where I'm telling you, maybe almost objectively speaking, it will last you until tomorrow. If you spray this on and you say, oh, it disappears in 4 hours, that's your nose. Broken. Your nose is broken. That, or you're experiencing olfactory fatigue because this thing shocked your senses. I'm warning you, it is so strong. It's very linear. When you spray it on, 12 hours later, it's gonna smell the same as it did when you first sprayed it, and it might even be just as strong. honestly. From Unique Luxury, this is Akdeniz, which is Turkish for Mediterranean, I believe. Almost too strong, honestly. Fruity aquatic, pineapple, citruses, a little bit of green quality in there, some myrtle, I think, apple. So there's a fruitiness, there's a greenness, very aquatic, a little salty, but quite woody. And it dries a little bit warm and leathery and vanilla-like, but you don't really lose the top notes. Everything kind of stays the same. There's almost this like chocolatey sweetness in the background. That just happens to be how things are combining and how I experience them. It may smell different to you, but overall, fresh aquatic, robustly fruity and citrusy, a sweet kind of leathery, woody warmth overtaking the scent at the core. Extremely powerful, extremely robust. This is a 2 sprayer for me. Any more than that, I hate it, and people around me will hate it because it's too strong. That is Akdeniz from Unique Luxury. Check it out, get you a sample set. All right, that's gonna do it for me. I wanna know what you think. Have you tried any of these fragrances? Let me know down in the comments. There's gonna be links to everything mentioned down in the description of the video if you wanna try any of these long-lasting aquatic fragrances, perfect for the summertime if it's hot where you are. And I know a lot of you ask for that because you live in some super hot places like Texas, where fragrances get swallowed up in minutes. Some of these might actually help you if you need some true performance. Anyway, let's talk about it down in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.